Josh Berg. Thanks for joining us. This is Nick Ayers with Made You Look Video Marketing, and you are listening to the Blip Insurance Agency podcast. So I've got Nick on. Nick, I thought maybe the best way we could get started is to kind of go back, start from the beginning where I guess maybe even all the way back to it was Liberty Mutual, right?
No, I've never worked for Liberty Mutual.
Who was it? Who was the first one?
So I actually got my start in the insurance game in California. So in California, you may or may not know, like non-standard shops are really prevalent.
Yeah.
Not as prevalent as they used to be, like 10 plus years ago. But I've been in the insurance game since 2005. And I got my start in a non-standard California agency for a company called Titan Insurance, which was bought out by Nationwide.
That's who it was.
Yeah. And then left there and went the captive route, worked for a really large captive company out here called AAA Insurance. AAA I know is all over, but they're like massive as a captive here. And that's where I kind of cut my teeth on the preferred side. And yeah, it's been a long ride. I mean, I've been on the producer side, on the captive side, and then on the IA owner side.
So now that you've had experience on the non-standard and then the preferred, would you ever go back to dabbling in non-standard?
No. And I mean, the market's changed. I mean, I'm a little removed from it, but and I could be with having this with kind of rose-colored glasses, but I the days of just look, there's always going to be people who get DUIs, right? There's always going to be people that do that, unfortunately, and they're going to need insurance. But I think the days of that they're slow. And I think you see that just in the marketplace. There's fewer and fewer in shops, and I mean, no, those days were like the wild west, like broker fees and just. Yeah, I mean, if you're not, it's a little different sport out here in California. I mean,
well, we have it too here in Arizona. We have a ton of non-standard.
Sure. Do you guys charge fees?
So now we can, but before all the non-standards were basically selling the roadside, but not telling the client they were getting the roadside and charging them like, $200 for this $10 policy.
So check this out. So basically that's exactly how it is. So now I know there's going to be a lot of like cringing, there's going to be a lot of like shame on you type stuff. And I get it. But
not every non-standard is that way. No, I would say the majority. Probably.
The majority of them are. And so you have to understand the market here in California. And the market is like, because people will be like, well, I would never charge a fee. It sounds predatory. Well, just know that if you don't, the 10 other places that they're calling will. And so it's just the market. And so it's not like a right or wrong thing. This is just the marketplace here. But it would be nothing in those days. And it was encouraged by management. You sell a $500 policy a year, you better charge like a $300 broker fee on that.
Yep.
Because the retention on these policies, they're going to cancel like every 60 days. And so, or every 90 days, if that. And so it's like that was the only way you made money was on fees. You didn't make money on commission because everything was charged back. So you had to make money on broker fees. So I mean that was encouraged. Yeah, you sold a non-owner SR22 policy for $300. Yeah, the down payment today is $600. The monthly payment is $20, and that's normal. That was in those days. Again, I can't speak to it now, but in those days that was very, very normal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've thought about it at length. And this is totally off topic of what we're going to end up talking about. But I thought about this at length. And like at first, I thought it was totally predatory. I thought, these oftentimes the people going to non-standard, they might not have as high of an education, or there may be a language barrier, all that kind of stuff. But because of all that, there's that super high amount of service that comes with it. People coming in to pay cash every month, all the cancellations, all that kind of thing.
Having to rewrite it every 30, 60 days. That's
totally
annoying. Yeah.
And so like when we can make, $300-400 on a new household, and we don't have to really service that again for a year, 2 years, whatever, compared to the other end of the spectrum. Like I get it, it makes sense to me now. You good?
I'm good.
All right. Well, here we go.
We got some viewers too, so that's good.
Nice. Well, so yeah, Nick was gracious enough to fit this in.
Dude,
as if you didn't have enough going on.
Yeah, we have quite a, there's quite a bit going on. There's the agency, there's Made You Look, and we have innovation in a couple days. And so, like this time of year, I'm always like the most stressed out. I'm always the most like on edge, because it's mainly due to the event itself. I'm always like worried that somebody's gonna die there, and so like every precaution. I just always like I'm very like picky like on how I want the production to look, the show to look, and we spend all year on it. So it's like this coming down to like the last second of it. I'm like, okay, is everything gonna look good? Is everything gonna work? I'm always really concerned.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it was amazing last year, so I'm sure it'll.
Are you gonna be there this year?
You know what? I'm not, but my business partner Brian's gonna be there, so he's gonna take some good notes for me.
Is he coming to the pre-conference?
Yes. Attend your thing, but
well, if he's coming to the pre-conference, if he bought a ticket to the pre-conference, then he's good to go.
Oh, well, maybe he is. I'll double check with him. If not, I'll make sure he does. So you were saying you were kind of going back through your history. So you've kind of done a number of different things in the insurance industry, and that brings you to today, where you own Thrive Insurance.
Thrive Sure, yes.
Thrive Sure, and Made You Look.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what made you decide to start Made You Look? Well, why don't you tell us what it is first?
Yeah.
And then tell us why you started.
So Major League Video Marketing is it's a course on top of a consultation program. And so I've spent the better part of 20 years in some form or fashion in the video world. And so, I mean, I even have this picture on my desk. I don't know if you can see this, but this is a picture of me when I was like all of like 14 years old, and I'm behind a camera. That's when it was cool to wear an undershirt underneath your button-down collared shirt.
Wait, that's not cool
but
anymore?
I guess it's not. That's not so cool. But been involved in the video game for a long time now, and one thing that I saw that was lacking just in the marketplace was I saw a lot of here's the message. You always heard and you always hear, you got to do video, you got to do video, you got to do video.
Right.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, what do I do? Like, what does that mean? Like, do I just get my cell phone? Do I get? And so it's a program that teaches business owners, predominantly in the financial services space. So insurance is the heavier category there, but loan officers, insurance, financial planners, on how to use video to actually grow business. I've been through a lot of programs myself over the years, and it seems like a lot of programs either want to teach you how to be a film star or how to like sell widgets on Amazon and make money. And so I didn't want that. I felt like an area that was lacking in the marketplace was having the ability to actually utilize video to grow your business, to generate leads, to improve the customer experience, to build retention, to build referral partners, to communicate at scale. I believe video, and I say this all the time, video is the most emotional medium that we have to communicate. Aside from you and I mean, we're doing this on video, right? Aside from you and I, like getting together, shaking hands, and like having a cup of coffee together, like there's nothing that we can do online other than video to really kind of build out those emotions and pull those emotional triggers. And so I just found that there was not any education in the marketplace, and the education that was there was very lacking. And I approached this from somebody who is actually doing it. So like in our program, we teach a lot of lead generation on YouTube as an example. I think YouTube is very underutilized as far as a marketing platform. Everybody saturates Facebook, and I love Facebook. Facebook's been very good to me, but nobody's really dipped their toe into the YouTube space, and they haven't done it well, particularly for financial services. And so what do
you think the main differences between the two are? I mean, I think I've seen you post about, maybe it's like the amount of intent from the sort of leads you're getting on YouTube, or what is it? What's the main difference? Like, when should someone go for YouTube? When should somebody go to Facebook?
I wish I can show you. So I do these every day on strategy calls that I have with new students. So basically, imagine a simple style funnel, right? And in that funnel, you have it divvied up between different levels of market awareness between that your client. So we're all in different levels of market awareness, whether we're buying bubblegum, shoes, automobile insurance, houses, whatever. Like the funnels are shorter and longer, but we're always in a different phase when it comes to buying things that solve problems in our life, right?
Yep.
And so where I think YouTube is strong is it's strong when you need brand facing, high intent marketing done. So as an example, you're familiar with Facebook marketing. And again, I love Facebook. Facebook is great to me. But the person who's on Facebook typically is there to argue about politics, look at pictures of their ex-wives, and what they're doing, right? It's to post pictures of the food, look at the grandkids. It's a social platform.
Right.
People go on it while they're waiting to get their hair cut, while they're waiting, while they're driving on the road. It's a veg out kind of entertainment social platform. So we're just scrolling, right? And you generate leads off of that based on really good copy, based on good creatives, right? Things that kind of trip people up. It's really good for people who are in the market awareness of they are either problem unaware or solution unaware, or more problem unaware. Like you're telling them they have a problem,
Right.
and they need to think about solving that problem.
Right.
It's like, oh my gosh, yeah, attention, Vacaville renters. Like you can buy a home. Really, I could buy a home. Like you don't even know, like that's possible. Whereas YouTube is really good for that middle funnel area where you're getting in front of people. Now they're not just thinking about, can I buy a home? They're thinking, do I want to buy a home in Sacramento or San Francisco? Right? They're evaluating, they're researching, right? They're already in the mindset to actually want to learn something, or they're very problem aware. Now they're looking for and they're evaluating solutions. And
Gotcha.
so YouTube, utilizing Google data is more powerful on that end, because if there's anybody that knows more about you than you know about you, it's Google, right? I always say Google is daddy. Like they're father time. They're the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit all mixed in one, and like they know more about you than you do. And so it's crazy how much, based on how we utilize the internet, like how much of a player Google is, right? And it's to no surprise when you think about it. But Google is able to segment us into different audiences based on the websites we're visiting. So if you're trying to sell homes, like it's going to know if you're trying to buy a home and you've been to like Zillow, like 50 Zillow pages, like it has a really good idea that you're trying to buy a home, or you're looking at homes, right? You're in the market. And so that's something that Facebook can also do to some degree, but I feel is a little bit more limited. And it's important, and really the way you craft a message on YouTube is really different as well. I think the one mistake that a lot of people have that are used to doing Facebook ads is they think that the same level of strategy or success that they utilize on one platform is automatically going to carry them over to another one. And I think that is where a lot of people mess up, because they are very different platforms. The user is different, the user experience is different, and so the message and the offers and the style has to also be different.
That's interesting. I always I guess I always had thought, I need to learn how to run ads and how to create good content and copy and whatever, which is why I started going down the Facebook route, a year ago or so. Because I thought, okay, Facebook is here today. It's going to go away at some point, probably replaced by something else, and it's not going to be the hot social media platform. So
it'll just evolve. There'll be evolution to some degree.
Right. But I thought like, oh, I learned this, and then I can just go do this same thing on Instagram, YouTube.
And so there is, yes, to a degree, yes. So the one beauty about like Facebook and YouTube is that if you understand Facebook, then picking up YouTube is not going to be that much of a challenge for you. It's just a little different terminology, a little different interface.
Gotcha.
But a lot of the concepts apply. So I'll give you an example. On Facebook, your copy is really, really important.
Yep.
Right. On YouTube, your script is the most important thing. Like I tell our students that if it looks like an ad, if your video looks like an ad, it will get treated like an ad. I always ask, new students when when I'm talking about in the sales process, I always say, okay, how how often do you watch a video on YouTube and an ad pops up? They always say all the time.
Yep.
But I go, yes. How often do you skip that ad? They go, all the time. I
All
go,
the time.
yes. But the videos that do really well are the videos that have a really good script with a really good offer. So I'll give you an example. You have 5 to 6 seconds before that skip video icon comes up.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how important is that first 5 seconds?
It's incredibly important. So the way you frame your video is, I want to give them that offer in that first 5 seconds, because that offer is going to be what gets them beyond the 5-second mark. Now, if they skip it, fantastic. I don't care if they skip it. I mean, I do to a degree, but if they skip it, I didn't get charged a penny for it. One reason why I love YouTube as an advertising platform is because unless somebody watches 30 seconds or more of your video, or they click on the ad, then you're not charged for it.
What?
So,
really?
Yeah. So
Wow.
that's they go off of what is defined as a view, and a view is defined as someone who watches 30 seconds or more, or if your ad is shorter than 30 seconds, if you watch the whole thing.
Interesting.
Or
Okay.
if they click on it. So I have no problem loving the skip button. You give me free impressions all day long. The only people that are coming, this is the reason why I like it as well, is it has a higher level of intent with the buyer. So if someone is going to watch their Alex Jones videos on YouTube, I don't know if he's even still on YouTube, but
I think so, unless somebody whacked him.
Yeah. So yeah, he's going, you're going there to watch, cat videos, or like bougie music videos, like whatever you want to watch. And like an ad pops up, and I click on it, like it's like the offer's good, the script is good, it's a good ad. I click on it, I go to the survey, I go to the landing page, whatever you want to do. Like I interrupted my cat video to go to your ad to sell me car insurance.
Right.
Like, and I filled it out. So that tends to be a better, like that tells, like that is the level of seriousness on that lead is really, really good. And that's why I like it. So if they skip it after 27, like in 27 seconds, and I've sat there and I've spewed about this or the other. Right. So one of the things I do is I put I have an evergreen, a static branding video that's in my city. That's nothing but Thrive Sure Insurance, Thrive Sure Insurance, Thrive Sure Insurance. It gets a high skip rate. I don't care about that. But all I'm trying to do, it's like a free billboard placement.
Oh yeah. Interesting.
And so, yeah, skip it all day long. When I go and I tell you I work for Thrive Sure Insurance, a lot of times you're going to say, I've seen you guys on YouTube.
Yep.
Fantastic. So that level of affinity, that bridge is being built on brand, on my brand. And that's why I think it's a great platform.
Dude, that's awesome. So as somebody who's getting started, dude, first of all, that stuff, I had no idea about any of it. So
most people don't. Most people don't.
Amazing.
Less than 4% of local businesses advertise on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's
so with Facebook, you can pixel data, you can retarget people who whatever criteria you want to use. Can you do that same sort of thing with YouTube?
Yep, sure can. So again, if you're familiar with the Facebook platform, then picking up Google's platform is that different. The terminology is different. So it's not called a Google Pixel. It's called the global site tag. And I know we're kind of getting in the weeds here.
Yeah.
But yes, the short answer is yes. There is strategy around getting good data on your tag, retargeting. Now, you can't retarget anybody unless your list of your audience size is at 1,000 people, or that's the minimum that you can retarget. So a good strategy for the marketers that are watching this is on all your surveys, that if you're running Facebook traffic to a survey, capture that data and it's going to build that audience list. Run as much traffic to the tag and the pixel and all that stuff as possible so you can retarget faster on the platform.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I advise people to do, is like put your Facebook pixel on there too if you're running Facebook ads. So I'll run a YouTube ad and then I'll retarget on Facebook until I get enough data on my audience size to where I can then retarget also on YouTube.
Gotcha.
And it shouldn't take long. If you're running good traffic, it's not going to take long to get to 1,000 people.
Yeah. People who are just getting started out though, I mean, I know when I got started out doing social media ads, it's like it's scary. You don't want to start out running 50 to $100 a day, so you're going to start out with like
that's the
2,
mindset.
3.
That is the mindset. I mean, but again, it's like go big or go home to a degree. I mean, like I tell our students, like, if you want good, like I'm high volume, and this is just me, like I'm high volume.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't excite me to get 2 or 3 leads a day. Like I want like 20.
Right.
So I'm like, spend $100 a day, spend $200 a day, and like the more leads you get, the more you're going to sell. The more you sell, the faster you sell, the more money you're going to make. And so it's a mindset shift, to be sure.
Yeah. So somebody who's just getting started in video marketing. So let's do this. Why don't you tell me what you would recommend to somebody who's thinking, okay, I want to get started. What equipment do I need? What equipment do I need, first of all? And then let's maybe go, what equipment should I get when I'm a little bit, down the road? What would you suggest is like, if you were going to go buy brand new gear, what would you get?
Sure. So for gear, the best camera that you have is the camera that's closest to you. Period. Okay. And so whether it's a webcam or a cell phone, now I tell people for ads, the best camera to use is your cell phone or a webcam. Again, if it looks like an ad, it gets treated like an ad. And so I use a cell phone. If you're familiar, like Ty Lopez, I do very Ty Lopez style.
Selfie style. Yeah.
For ads. Now for public facing brand awareness type stuff, yeah, go get yourself a $400 or $500 DSLR camera and go that route. But depends on the strategy you're wanting to play. Like now I say this to my detriment, like I have, I don't do enough public facing content. Like my YouTube channel, if you went to my YouTube channels, like there's like maybe 4 or 5 videos on there. Those are public videos. If I showed you the unlisted videos, it's like,
right,
it's a ton. So my style is more ad running traffic with
paid
ads.
Yeah.
And so I need to do a better job with public facing stuff, but my public facing stuff should be more polished, because and I would say this, the longer the video, the more polished it should be too. If I'm making a 1-minute video, then your cell phone's fine. If I'm making like a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever, like minute-long video that's content-based, it should be nice. Like I should have animations. I should have titles. I should have music. I should have that stuff to keep the viewer engaged. People always ask me, like, how long should my content be? How long does it need to be? I mean, it's really dependent on where people are at in the cycle. So somebody who is colder, somebody that is very problem unaware, going back to that market awareness, the shorter the video, right? The people who are like actually trying to make a decision, like, okay, do I want to do business with Josh's agency or Billy's agency down the street? Like, and I'm evaluating, well, then the longer the content, that's fine, right? Because we're making actual decisions. And so your video length is totally dependent on where they're at in the cycle. That's why we're like quote videos or video proposals. Like you can get away with like a 30-minute video proposal because they're actually evaluating what you want to do. Now, if they have no idea who you are, yeah, probably 30 minutes is like maybe, they're going to skip out like at 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's why like when you see like Facebook ads that are videos, or when I work with people, like they'll say, they'll be like, I can't get people to watch more than 10 seconds. Well, yeah, they're number one, your offer's wrong, your pitch is wrong, your copy's wrong. And you're targeting people who are outside in that market awareness. You've got to approach them a lot differently. Like they don't have you haven't hit them where they're actually interested in what you want to say, where they're evaluating. So for gear, cell phone is a great way to start when you want to scale up. Look, I tell people, like, I love good gear. I'm a hobbyist, so I get it, but you don't need that in order to get started. That's actually to your detriment. It's just going to be another obstacle in your way to creating content and getting started.
And so, okay, so one thing I think I heard you say, gosh, long time ago, is people will tolerate bad video, but they will not tolerate bad sound. So how important, if you go get a DSLR camera that has an input jack for a mic, super important?
Yeah, it's important. So if you're doing that DSLR style video, then yeah, exactly. So you want to get, I'll grab it here. So you want to get one of these things. This is just a lapel mic that you buy off of Amazon. It plugs in to your camera with this, right? Just like
Yep.
an old school Walkman. And you run the cable underneath your shirt so you don't see the wire, and you plug it to your lapel. And exactly right. So people will tolerate in the production quality world, right? People will tolerate shaky video. They'll tolerate graininess. They'll tolerate all that stuff to a degree. What people will tune out immediately on is bad audio. So if it's an echo, if it's a lot of echo, if it's just hard to understand, like it hurts my ears to have to painfully listen to you, yeah, people are going to zone out or tune out or skip you. Prioritize your audio, prioritize your lighting next, and then prioritize the actual, like what the video looks like, color correction and vignetting and all that stuff. High, 4K. I know people who shoot like 4K videos and like they got like no microphone on. It looks like it sounds like garbage. I'm like, I don't even want to listen to this thing because it's garbage.
Yeah. Well, what about, okay, so when somebody records this video, whatever it is, what then? Like I know in your course, you have the Adobe suite.
Yep.
Right? It's included.
Yep. All of our students get their own license to Adobe Creative Cloud if they want one.
And so what though, if somebody's like shoestring budget, trying to make it work, like, is there some good free software that?
Yeah. So depending on if you are on Microsoft or Apple, an Apple device, you can get like Windows Movie Maker. You can get Apple iMovie, and there's a few other type of ancillary things out there. But yeah, so if you're on a budget, you can even do stuff in YouTube. So like you can trim off edge. Yeah, you can do some splicing in YouTube if you want to. And that's free. That's another thing that we in our YouTube training course. That's something we show people how to do too as a module. But you can add annotations and trim and all that stuff. So, but if you want just like a free software, Windows Movie Maker for Windows users, iMovie for iOS users.
So really everything that you probably already have either on your phone or on whatever computer you're using. Gotcha.
Yep. I mean, you can get like on your phone, you can get like Adobe Rush. I want to say like you can get it for like $19 a month. I mean, if you're making content, you're gonna do something. So
yeah.
$19 a month. It's $19 a month,
And it's pretty amazing, the Adobe Creative Cloud. Man.
It's all I know. It's what I've learned. Before it was ever Creative Cloud. I'm an Adobe evangelist. I love Adobe as a company. That's just, I think they have the benchmark on the creative side of content. And so, I just want to remove every obstacle out of people's hands that prevent them from actually implementing. For me, like I just want people to implement. I don't just implement. And
well, if you implement, you're like ahead of everybody.
Yeah, even like imperfect action, is, even if it's imperfect, like you're still 10 steps ahead of everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Take a quick.
I think we got some comments. We got.
Yeah. So Ryan wants to know.
Yeah.
Ryan Johnson, what's going on, Ryan? Wants to know, how do you overcome people that use an ad blocker or have YouTube Premium? First of all, how many people is that? My guess is it's probably a small subset.
It is smaller. There's plenty of fish in the sea. If they don't see the ads, here's the thing, like, and maybe I'm guilty of this, and you can't be all in on one platform. Like, I know I say a lot about YouTube, but I'll be on Facebook, I'll be on YouTube, I'll be on Instagram, I'll do email follow-ups. Like, I'm gonna find you. And so
Liam,
like I can't just, if they've got YouTube Premium, I can't show them YouTube ads. Well, then I need to hit them on Facebook. And if I can't hit them on Facebook, I need to figure out a way to get in their inbox. If I can't get in their inbox, I need to have my telemarketer call them. Like, I need to. You can't be. The point is you can't be all in on one single platform. That's the problem. I think a lot of marketers have, or a lot of people in marketing, or even in like And the bit like in insurance, like they just think, oh, I need to use YouTube ads, right? People mock things like direct mail. No one's doing direct mail now, or it's dying off. So maybe I should do direct mail, right?
Mhm.
Like maybe that's the best time to do it.
Yeah.
So like you just have to be. I learned. One of my early mentors in the industry, Mike Stromso, said, if you want to reach 100% of the population or the audience, you have to reach them with 100% of the methods. And I
Yep.
believe that that's true. I can't just be just YouTube. I can't be just Facebook. I can't be just email. I have to be on LinkedIn. I have to be on YouTube. I have to be on Facebook. I got to do all those things. If with this caveat, if I want to grow to the level that I want to grow.
How much time do you think? Okay, so for doing that, I guess I feel like
It's a lot of time.
I'm famous to myself, right? For like I know myself by spending way too much time doing things, right? Things where I'm like, gosh, this is going to take 10 minutes and it takes me a day, to like create an ad, get it out there, work on the automation behind it, all that kind of stuff. Like how much time do you feel like is an adequate amount of time for people who are running a business, having their personal life, all that kind of stuff? Like how much do you feel like is a good amount of time to spend on this kind of stuff?
I feel like my answer is going to be wrong no matter what I say. I'll tell you my approach, and I realize my approach isn't everybody's approach. So
Caveat.
like I'm a get it done guy, and if I've got to stay up until 3 or 4 in the morning to get it done, I get it done, and I get it. Like I got a wife, I got 2 kids. I think I even have a dog somewhere. Like I just it's important. And what's important is what gets done is what's important. Or is that how it goes? What's important gets done. And so it's important. Am I perfect at it? No. Does it make me the best husband and father sometimes? At most times? No.
I think
preferences, man. Preferences. Like it's I have to get this stuff done. And so I don't whatever it takes, you just get it done.
Yep. And I think,
that's not the right answer. I don't know how to answer that right.
I think you're right. I think, it's going to be different for everybody, but I think people have to. So one thing I'm learning is that B- work is completely satisfactory if I can get it done. B- work is going to take me an hour, and A+ work is going to take me 5. So
maybe you mix in some B's with some A's and put some D's in there too.
By the way, Mike Stromso, that guy is awesome. Such a cool guy. Dude, he's got a great podcast. I actually want to have him on. He doesn't know this. I haven't talked to him about it yet, but I listened to this podcast of his about how he goes about getting referrals and from his existing books, Acre of Diamonds. And anyway, I want to have him on and talk about that because it's gold. Great. He's awesome.
I got a lot of good stories about Mike.
Yeah. So, what about content? Like how is there some sort of methodology for coming up with new content? Because I think that's one of the things that gets people frozen, okay, if I start this thing or I do this or that, like how am I going to keep coming up with content? Do you have some sort of strategy?
Yeah, consistency is a death of a lot of people, right? They're unable to be, myself included. Like it's hard to remain consistent in a lot of things. You get distracted by shiny objects, and but again, the things that get done are the things that are important to you. And so, yeah, for content, so let's take a niche for example. Let's take insurance, right? That's what we know. Okay. And so, like, I had this conversation online in IAOA yesterday with somebody. It was very brief, but he was talking about like what should he do for marketing. Well, what's the vertical? Construction. Fantastic. Well, here's how I would do 10 different things, 10 different variable pieces of content that allow you to be consistent. You do contractors, go to a job site, do a Facebook Live there. Like, that doesn't require any thought. Just interview somebody. Go to the freaking Home Depot and ask people randomly what they're trying to buy and build. Go, create an article on your website on the 3 things contractors need to know about their insurance. Run ads to that. Retarget with a direct response ad. Like, are you a contractor? This is what we do. um, content is a weird word. Everybody always assumes it means one thing or another, but content is, um, it's as simple as a Facebook post. It's as simple. It's as extravagant as a vlog. And so diversify what you're doing, and that'll allow you to be consistent, right? So every day, think of your Facebook page as like a TV channel, and put something on the channel, a Facebook post, a picture, do it on Instagram, right? Or what are you doing on LinkedIn? Like you need to be all over. It goes back to that, and that will allow you to be consistent. I think everybody thinks, well, I have to write like a 2,000 word blog, and I should put in a video, and there needs to be a really cool, call to action. Yeah, on some of the stuff there should be. Don't get me wrong. Like, you should have a really good, well-written article on your website that has good keywords and blah blah. Yes, absolutely. But you can also do a Facebook Live. In addition, you can
Yeah.
also go to a customer and do a testimonial. In addition, you can. If you look at like my Facebook wall, a lot of my content is, and I've learned this from other people. I can't take credit for this, but you'll see me do like a lot of what I call brag posts, proof posts,
Yep.
right? And I do that because that's content that people consume, and I'll write 4 or 5 paragraphs on it, and that is content.
Totally.
You may not like it, right? Some people might look at me like, ugh, that's fine. I'm just segmenting my audience is all I'm doing. I'm just giving I'm separating the sheeps and the goats.
Yeah.
But that's content. When I do a before and after with somebody, that's content. Like, that is content. It doesn't have to be just video or just blog articles. It could be a number of different things, and that will allow you to keep it fresh, keep it interesting, and keep it consistent.
Yeah. And one thing you just talked about is, if you're posting stuff for business on your personal social media page, whatever it is, like, I have this fear. I know a ton of people do, where it's like, well, all my friends are going to think I'm, lame, or, they're going to stop paying attention or whatever.
Yes, so yes, that is true. Now that is true to a large degree, but here's the thing. People like following people that they see as higher status.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They like to follow people who are on an upward trajectory in life. Now, if all my posts were, "Hey, I sell insurance, buy it from me, here's my phone number." Yeah. But when I'm telling stories, and I'm talking about clients, and I'm talking about problems being solved, and I'm talking about wins, and I'm mixing in also some losses, right? That makes me, number one, more authentic. But then it also makes me an interesting story that people can follow. It also, when I show results, it's showcasing status, and people are attracted to. Why do you think Kim Kardashian or anybody with the last name Kardashian can get on and can sell anything? Because they have status. And so, if I can, that's nothing like mystical or magical. Like, status can be replicated in any field. Are you gonna be, you're not marrying Kanye West at any point in your life, but you can showcase status and results, and people are going to be attracted to that. And it's
Mm-hmm.
also going to but more powerful than that is it's going to repel the people that you don't want around.
Right.
And so that is why you do it. Yeah, you're not jumping online being like, "Buy from me."
Right.
That's lame. You have to be more. You have to be more subtle than that.
Yeah. I think it is a fear that people, even if you're doing it, like you said, telling stories, like doing it in a really good way, that's interesting. I think that, at some point you just kind of have to, if you're a business owner, or, you make your living from sales somehow, you have to just kind of get over yourself, get past that fear of using social media for business and not just pleasure. Right. Nobody really cares about your dinner or the last picture of your kid.
Well, they don't, but giving people an insight to who you are as a human being is powerful. I'll post pictures of what I eat. I'll post pictures of my kids. I'll post funny jokes. I let people into my life. It's a social platform. When I'm selling, or when I'm promoting, so whether it's the agency or Made You Look or anything else, when I'm promoting, um, I do so along along storylines. I do so along things that captivate, or at least I think build interest. And that's the difference. Again, if I'm just on there saying I sell insurance, if it's like me, Tarzan, you, Jane approach to marketing, I sell insurance, buy from me, then yeah, that you'll get unfollowed really, really quick. But
Yeah.
when I talk about how, luckily we were able to write a life insurance policy for John, and 3 weeks later he died, and now we're able to deliver $1 million check to his wife. That's captivating. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's showcasing results.
Right.
And again, people are attracted to upward trend results. People, believe it or not, people like winners. Like, the bandwagon mentality is a real thing subconsciously amongst people. We want to follow people that we think have it together. We don't want to follow, in our mind, losers.
Totally.
Right. So,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying like, I know my words there are harsh. I'm just trying to paint a very strong contrast in the way that we think on a kind of, just on a human level. Like,
Yeah.
we like upwards. We don't necessarily like downwards.
Yeah. Totally agree with you. I mean, I know I reach out to people. I over the past 2 years, I wouldn't say I've been strategic, but I am for sure aware of some people, and that I want to have some sort of relationship with that person because of who they are and where they're headed. And so I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, what is there anything else you would want to add to this discussion? Anything you think people should know?
Oh man, we could be here all day long.
Well, what's the one, if there's one thing to add, if you had to narrow it down, what would it be?
As it pertains to what?
As it pertains to video marketing.
Get a good script. The most important aspect of your video is not your video. It's not. It's because as a consumer, I'm consuming, and really, like, the whole polish stuff and the whole really like fanciness of a video, that only goes so deep. But as I believe this, I believe that as human beings, we are intrinsically and by nature selfish. Just as humans, we're selfish
Yeah,
people. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's just
I would
we're
agree.
selfish. And the one thing that we ask ourselves on a conscious and subconscious level is what's in it for me? And so what's in it for me has nothing to do with the production value of a video. Now, I love good looking videos. I do. I like making them. It's art. I'm totally there. But just like I had a conversation with one of our students today, he was putting out a video, and I essentially told him, don't do it this way. There's a difference in the mindset of a creator and a marketer. Right? A creator wants to create art. A marketer wants to create results. And so what's in it for me is what you say in the script. The words you say are important. It's the most important thing of your video. It's a script. And I think this is where a lot of people mess up, is they get bogged down with the creative. And I'm not saying it doesn't have a place, but they get bogged down with the creative when really the thing that you need to prioritize is what you actually say.
And what are some pointers for that? I mean, I would think that one of the things you would want to make sure you do is dumb your language down, as far as not using industry specific language, right?
Yep. So does it pass the 5-year-old test? If it's too confusing for my 5-year-old, then it's probably too confusing. Just like people are selfish, most people, when they are not totally in tune with what you're saying, they're only at halfway paying attention. We're all pretty dumb creatures, right? And so, like, when you start talking about like subrogation and indemnity,
Right.
and you'll turn off the camera, right?
Yeah.
You have to figure out what's in it for my client, and what words, or how can I keep it simple? How do I make it so simple that everybody understands it? And what kind of value proposition am I really giving here? So here's an example, and I'll give you kind of maybe a peek behind the curtain. One of the funnels that we run in our program is one for commercial property. Insurance agents that want to target landlords
Nice.
of commercial real estate. So one of the things that we did, I did with a handful of our students that wanted to target this. This is whether I target stuff or not, and I have experience with it, I'll just grab people that want it, and we'll just spend an hour or two in a video call amongst a group, and we'll craft a message. One of the things that we discovered is that most real estate agent or most property owners that own commercial property, the one thing that they all want to do more of is they all want to get more commercial property. It's like a drug.
Yep, totally.
Okay, so now we know what we need to craft the offer around and how this will help them. How saving money, thousands of dollars, and using terms like cash flow and targeting things like Rich Dad Poor Dad and Grant Cardone and all those things. Getting in front of them with the right terminology and the right offer is what has yielded the best results. And so it goes back to just knowing who your audience is, knowing the language that they speak. It's like being if you're a missionary in an unknown land, like you better learn the language real quick.
Yep.
Or the tribes people will kill you. And so, knowing who the audience is, knowing the language, and really prioritizing the script. And I just can't say that enough. Script. It's the most important thing.
Gotcha. And so for anybody listening to this, how can they find you? How can they find you to sign up for your course? Because let me say this, I personally know 3 people who have taken your course, and I already told you this once, but I want to say it again. The best review of a course I think anyone could get from all 3 people. And so it's on my agenda at some point when I have a little bit more time that I can focus on it. But where can people find you? How can they sign up?
So I'm all over the interwebs. I mean, you can find me everywhere. Facebook is probably the best way to communicate with me, but I encourage people to. I don't like to bring anybody on the program that I haven't spoken to, and so what I encourage people to do, because I want to know where you're at. It's very important to me that I help you get results. I don't want you in the program if I can't help you, and like I take it personal. I treat your business like I treat my business, and your results matter to me. And I don't know why. I'm just very invested in that. And so go to my website, www.madeyouluckvideo.com, schedule a discovery call with me. We'll take 30 minutes and we'll assess your business and we'll see if it's something that we can help you with. We can't help everybody, but we can help a lot. And that's the most important thing for me on so many levels is I want people, like, to a fault, I stress over, like, even if they're not implemented, I just stress over them, their results. And so, because it's a passion project for me in a lot of ways, but that's how you would find me is on Facebook and go to my website, madeyouluckvideo.com.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Everyone, thanks for watching. That is all we got. We'll see you next week. Next week, Austin Moorhead's going to be on, and we're talking automation. So any questions you have, if it's something you haven't started yet, something you kind of know what you're doing, but you need some input, join us next week, and we will see you then.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yep. See ya.